Hey, good morning. Hope you're having a good day. I am here waiting on the gate to open at my new job so I can go in. So I've been doing this for a few weeks now. It's really interesting. In 80 hours, I make about the same amount of money I was making in 30-ish hours, 40 hours of doing IT work. But this has, benefits and whatever, like insurance, where that was inconsistent. That was some inconsistent jobs, right? Because it's they come up when they come up. I don't know. Anyways, I mean, there's other things to that. I don't know. The sketchy. I can't be part of it. I can't do it. I'm opposed to doing all that IT work. Anyways, that's another subject. But so, I've been thinking a lot about, what do you call it? This whole simulation theory and how people are trying to say that, like, Jesus walked on water because he understands the code of the universe, and so he told the molecular structure of the water to let him walk on it. And, sure, sure. I just feel like a lot of times this kind of talk is trying to take the divine nature of things away from divinity. I feel like it's trying to explain away divinity. And, so I don't know. It's sketchy to me. But, like, I just been thinking a lot about, because I even on here, I had that, I recorded that conversation everyone was having on the semi-quincentennial day. And there was verses quoted like, we see through a glass dimly, right? We see through a dark glass dimly. And so I was like, oh, yeah, that's good, right? Yeah, that's good. And there's Plato's The Cave, the analogy of the cave, where there's a fire behind us and we're looking at a wall and we see the shadows on the wall. And if that's all we've ever seen, we think that's reality. But, like, if you go out the cave, you find out that it's a different reality. So, that's philosophy. The Bible says to stay away from philosophy. The other thing is, I find myself waxing on philosophically, philosophists, if you will. Anyway, I have a terrible my sense of humor. I don't know. Anyways, so we see through a dark glass dimly. I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty good. And I've heard a few other verses get quoted about all that. And so I was like, well, what is that? And I was reading it. And the whole thing was about ceremony. It was about how the tabernacle was built and dividing the calf in half and what we do when we burn the, in the showbread and the priest stoning. It was all about the fact that these ceremonies are reflective of heaven. So I don't know. I don't think it's saying what people are quoting it to be saying. Because it's all Gnosticism, all this whole, like, we live in, there's a project. And to be fair, everything that you see, right, is that the light is reflecting off of that. It's very hard to, because videos also is kind of what video and pictures are, right? And anyways, all the light is reflecting off of things into your eyes, and then your brain is interpreting that. And so really, your brain first says, this is what I see, and then it double checks. So, like, when you look over, your brain's already auto-filling in based on your prior knowledge, right? Like, you can, and I guess not everybody can do this, but, like, because apparently some people don't have Fantasia. But your brain auto-fills in based on prior knowledge you have what things are. That's how, like, you can look at something and look away quickly, and you thought you saw something, and you're like, wait, I have to look again. And you look again, and you're like, that's not what I saw. Say like a silhouette of a person, and it turns out it's a sign or something. I don't know. Those kind of things. Especially, seeing things in the dark is difficult for a reason, right? There's less light. But so your eyes and your brain is just interpreting what the light is that's bouncing off of things or whatever. So in that regard, sure, it's all a projection. Everything we see is a projection. You're really just a thinking thing inside of a mind, and all of your senses are filling in this 3D space that we live in. And so if you want to argue that makes it a projection, sure, we can say that it's a projection. We live inside of a simulation. It's a simulation in the sense that it's the imperfect representation because of the fall of man, right? Bringing sin and death into the world, into the simulation. So it's a corrupted simulation. So sure, we can go with that. But it's Gnosticism, the whole belief that, we're inside. What is Gnosticism, right? Gnosis is the belief that there is a hidden piece of knowledge that if you get it, if you learn that hidden piece of knowledge, you gain salvation. It's esoteric in nature. And the deeper you get into Gnosis, which I believe is it's Greek for knowledge, right? Gnosticism, Gnosis, I'm pretty sure it's Greek for knowledge. But so as you get deeper into it, we start saying, oh, we're trapped, right? The moon is a soul box that keeps our spirits reincarnating, and a demiurge has trapped us, right? This isn't what reality really is. We're trapped inside of a simulation that's faking reality through some demiurge that has trapped all of our souls, and the moon is a reflective box that is keeping us all our spirits reincarnated, and keeping us from being able to pass on to heaven or nirvana or something. And I don't know, man. We're getting away from the Bible there. I think at the end of the day, there's not an esoteric hidden piece of knowledge. It's actually extremely evident. It's like the most printed thing is a Bible, right? It's the most printed piece of literature. It's not hidden. So that's another thing, is like, well, I don't know, I'll get around to it. Don't get caught up in these weird, it's fun to theorize. I like science fiction as much as the next guy. Science fantasy, at this point, I don't know, there's more science fantasy than there is science fiction. So I'm gonna work today, and then I think I'm going to the lake. I'm pretty sure I'm going to the lake. Football season started. Well, the preseason started, so I'm pretty excited about that. Had a couple comments, which is a good change pace. Psalms 91. I believe the Lord is my refuge. That was one of the comments. It's a good one. Appreciate it. And then another one was asking if I was on Lake Lanier when we were boating around, and I believe that's correct. I don't pay that much attention to those kind of things. I'm kind of just along for the ride and having a good time. Riding the wave, baby. I'm just riding the wave. Alright. Y'all have a good one. Be blessed. I'll talk to you later.